Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another one of my videos. This video is kind of an anniversary video in a sense. It's been about 12 months since I've had the truck completed with the camper and the flatbed on. And I just want to go through those 12 months and really do a review of the vehicle and let you know what's been working, what hasn't been working, things I want to change or things that I have changed. On top of that, I've been to a lot of fun places so far. I've been to Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, and California, and obviously Arizona, because that's where I'm from. Filming this actually from Arizona right now. It's I think it's about 112 to 114 at home, and I'm only about 80 miles from home, and I'm sitting in upper 80s, probably somewhere between like 85 and 90 degrees with a little bit of a breeze blowing. So it's really great to have this, to be able to get up and get out, and I'm really surprised too, this campsite's almost a ghost town. So let's get into this. Let's take a look at the truck, do a walk around, and we'll go from there. Back to you in the studio. All right guys, as far as review goes, let's start with the truck. I decided to go with a brand new truck because at the time, basically during the old COVID period, the used car market was insane, and for the amount of money that I spent on a new truck, it was only fractionally less money to spend on a used truck. So that's why I went with this one. And I'm gonna go off of my notes here, so writer's strike and all, I gotta read my own notes. So basically this was a 2022 F250 4x4 with the super cab. It's the XLT trim. It was a 148-inch wheelbase. I opted to get the 7.3 liter V8 Godzilla motor, and it's got a 10-speed automatic transmission. The options I chose from Ford were 4.3 electric locking axle, got the factory skid plates, I got the upfitter switches, I got the additional 397 amp alternator plus an additional battery, and that alternator feeds back to my lithium batteries in the camper. And also got the center console. So I have two basically bucket seats with the center console in the middle. And on the long trips, just having that there and being able to put your arm up on it, I kind of feel like it was definitely worth the money. So far it's been a great truck. I have about 14,000 miles on it in my first year, and I've taken two trips that were about 1,800 miles, and then most of the other trips are around Arizona, where I'm usually anywhere between 250 to 400 miles. So let's move on and take a look at some of the accessories that I put on the truck. All right, starting up front here, I've actually gotten some pretty good compliments on this bumper. I went with this bumper mainly because obviously the factory bumper is garbage with for off-road and this, that, and the other, and you gotta have somewhere to put your winch and this, that, and the other. But this bumper is from Chassis Unlimited. I'm really happy with it. At the time, again, back in 2021, when I ordered it, 2022-ish, it was about 1,800 bucks, maybe just a tad under 19, somewhere in that range. Obviously with inflation, things might be a little bit different, but I think as far as bumpers goes, it's been fantastic. It's been really strong. I haven't had any issues with it. It fits my Smitty built winch, no problem. And all the hole cutouts for the lights and everything are for all the different standard lights and everything. So this is Chassis Unlimited. This was actually obviously built in size for a Ford F250 or Ford Series truck, so it's been really great. The other thing I got on here obviously was a Smitty built winch. It's a 12,500 pound winch. I have not used it yet for recovery. I have pulled it out and hooked up to a tree and pulled my line back in and kind of got my line kind of straightened out for the first time and rerun onto the roll. And hoping, keeping my fingers crossed that I don't need to use it, but obviously if I do, I have used it, took it through its paces and the whatnot. Factor 55 link that I got. These are really nice, super high quality, and haven't had any issues with that as well. Through recommendations of a couple other people that I met, the shackles that I got, I believe they're rated to 60,000 pounds, but those are from Gear America, not super expensive. You can go through their website, and I think I actually ordered these ones off of Amazon. Lastly, on the front bumper here, I got my Baja design lights. I got 3 different styles of lights. The center ones are actually the OEs, like you can use on the road legally. Those are like my fog lights. And then on the outside, I have 1 set of spots, and then the outer ones are angled out a little bit and they're wides. And I'll do another video that shows those. They're all amber. I really didn't want all the crazy lights up on the rig and everything. To me, it's just kind of overkill. This gets the light out that I need and really lights things up. And I've done a couple late night runs, and having all of these set and having just the factory Ford headlights on high is more than enough. So that's what I got for the front end. Been super happy with it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tires and suspension now. All right, guys. Obviously I know this stuff, but I'm gonna make sure I have it so I don't forget. But onto my tires, my wheels, and my suspension here. I went with the Nito 35.5 by 12.5, excuse me, 35s by 12.5 by 17 tires. They've been fantastic so far. They're not super noisy on the road. I am just noticing, I do take a look at them every once in a while. I've only gotten a few little chunks, and I have hit a few pretty rough roads. If you look at one of my earlier videos when I went out to the North Rim, there was a lot of just loose rock, big rock on that road and everything. And I'm really impressed with how these tires are holding up. I usually, when I get off road, my whole rig, when I'm really weighed down, first mile of a trip, I'm about 10,400 pounds. So anywhere between, you know, upper 9,000s and low 10,000s when I'm rolling. So when I get off pavement and I go to air down, I'll typically put my front tires at 25 PSI and my back tires at 30. And it's more than enough, or it's where I need to be comfortable on the roads. Really mitigates a lot of the washboards, and takes care of a lot of the smaller bumps and really makes for a super smooth ride. And then on top of that, the wheels I chose, these are the Method Standard 315s. It's a 17 by 8.5 inch wheel, and I got it in sort of the matte black look. Just a really great wheel. And again, all the things I like about this stuff is just, it's really been durable and holding up. The only small thing I don't like about these rims is it has a little bit of a recessed area in here. So if you do go through a water crossing, or if you do clean your rig, or you get a heavy rain, sometimes you'll just get a little bit of water that pools in there. Again, first world problems, but otherwise, it's been really great. And then on the suspension, I went with the Carly Ford Super Duty 2.5, 3.5 inch leveling kit. I think it's called their Mountaineer kit. And it came with leveling, it's leveling Adapacks, adjustable track bar, front and rear shocks, sway bar, drop brackets. And then one last thing I did add to the back, and I'll do some B-roll on some of this stuff as well, is I added some Timbren suspension helpers. Just when they got the camper and everything on, the back of the camper just visually is kind of squatting just a little bit, and it still squats just a little bit. I don't know if down the road I'm gonna add a leaf helper or something like that, but it's more of an optical thing than a travel thing. Everything runs perfectly. I've hit some pretty gnarly stuff and dropped off some little ledges and this, that, and the other. I don't have any issues. I haven't really caught anything on the back end. It's more of just you know, looking like I'm just, you know, weighted down just a touch in the back. But otherwise, been super happy with all 3 products. And actually I've noticed too that a lot of people are running the Nito tires. So if you're out there shopping around, take a look at it and see what you think. All right, let's take a look at the flatbed now. Okay guys, moving on to the flatbed. I selected Bowen out of Arvada, Colorado. Mainly 2 main reasons. Made in USA, and I found them at Overland Expo and talked to him. And I had talked to, or tried to call, some of the major manufacturers of flatbeds at the time that make them usually for the farming and commercial industries. And they weren't quite getting the vibe of what I was talking about, needing a flatbed to put a camper on. So the fact that Bowen and Juniper Overland were both in the Denver area, and at the time Juniper was a distributor for four-wheel camper, it just made sense for me to take my truck to one area and get both the camper and the bed put on. And I just want to say too, even though Juniper is no longer a distributor of four-wheel campers, the folks at Juniper and Brent and his crew over at Bowen were really great. They worked with each other, and you know, when Brent needed the truck to get some measurements, he had it, and then sometimes he would take it over to Juniper, and Juniper would put either on the tires or suspension or bumper as things came in. It was kind of a crazy time when all the pandemic stuff was going on, so parts were coming in, you know, every once in a while. So kudos to all you guys for helping me out on that kind of stuff. So with the flatbed, it's a flatbed. The flatbed itself from here back is a 6.5 foot standard flatbed, and I ordered it with 2 rear drawers and a sliding drawer in the back, and I'll do some B-roll and all this stuff. And then the one upgrade that I did is I did the forward garage, and the forward garage is approximately 18 inches wide. It's got some supports and everything on the inside that give you a clear moving space of just over 15 inches, let's say 15 3/8. But it has gull wing doors, good locks on it, gull wing doors on both sides, and then instead of doing a standard drawer underneath here that most flatbeds do, with this garage area, I have this lower area down here where I can put trash. I have my twin ARB pump right here, so this is where I air up from, and my hose, I can reach all 4 tires, no problem. And I got a bunch of gear in here. I have done another video that just talks about the garage and whatnot, so if you want to see that, check back on my list of videos, and I kind of do a walkthrough of all the different stuff that's in here. Like I said, the seals and everything on the drawers are fantastic. I get a lot of dirt and everything on the outside, but the inside of the drawers stay great. So this back drawer right here, I keep all my recovery gear in here and a couple extra pairs of shoes, and I also keep just a spare 5-gallon bucket of motor oil for my truck, just in case I need it or somebody else on the road needs it. Let's take a look at the other side. Okay, moving around to the driver's side for the flatbed, and here's the second rear drawer on this side. I keep mainly stuff in here for my shower and water and things once I get to campsite. This tree I actually stand on for when I use my outdoor shower from four-wheel camper. We'll get into that later. Keep a little tent on this side, hoses and the whatnot to either fill up water and or this drain hose for gray water. A couple little cheap clamps in here, and then I keep a hammock over in here as well. And then here is where they designed and put in the fuel fill. It's a gas truck, so, and everything's super clean. The welds and everything they do on these flatbeds are fantastic. And then this is then the driver's side gull wing door and the driver's side of the Ford garage. Fire extinguisher in here, a lot of my tools. I have some chocks for my wheels, and then an extra thing I decided to do in mine is I put an additional 35-gallon fuel tank in, and then I got a couple different chairs because you can never have too many chairs. Actually, you can, but I do. And just tools, and I still probably have only used 55–60% of the space. So I really have enjoyed it so far. I think it's a really good flatbed. You get what you pay for. It's an American-made company. Brent and his team are fantastic, and it's just a really high-quality product. I can't recommend it enough. So if it fits within your budget, I think you should go ahead and take a look at Bowen for sure. I would say for me, the only thing that I've had struggles with is just because I'm not a super fabricator guy or this, that, and the other. On these two, on either side, they have some reinforcement uprights on either side, and they pre-drilled it to accept riv nuts. And if you try to use a normal riv nut little handheld machine, it's really difficult to sort of get in there and get your arms back and then get a good squeeze on that thing to put the riv nuts on. So Brent, if you're listening or watching, or any of you guys, you might want to think about either every other hole or whatever, but maybe including the riv nuts ahead of time in there, or possibly doing threaded inserts pre-threaded before you guys go to powder coat those. That's the only thing I've had so far with the flatbed as an issue, and again, it's a pretty small issue. Otherwise, everything's been really great. The seals work real fantastic. All the switches and the locks and everything have been really fantastic, and the overall quality of the flatbed has been phenomenal. Let's take a look at the rear drawer. All right, let's take a look at this rear sliding drawer. It's probably one of my favorite features on the flatbed itself. Comes with the same latches on all the other drawers. Haven't had any issues with them. Obviously, you get a lot of dust and dirt built up on the back of your rig when you're going down dusty roads, but have yet to have any problems with the locks. So this drawer is a full 60 inches deep. It's 24 inches wide. It's about 5 inches tall, and can really fit all the items that I was wanting and when I was planning this whole build to store back here, basically. So one of the newest items that actually fits back in here that I use quite a bit now is this little squeegee setup here with extending pole. I use it 100% for my solar panel on top of my camper before I pop the roof, and then I'll occasionally use it on my windshield because it's got a little abrasive side if I get some pretty good bug strikes and I'm cleaning it at the gas station. So that's in there. This ladder, this is a little cobalt ladder I got from Lowe's. I like it because it's really low profile and it's less than 5 inches tall, so it fits in there well. As you can see, I need a little bit of help getting up to my turnbuckles on the truck, so it's perfect for that for me. Carry just the 4 spikes that came with the Fiamma awning. I hardly ever use these spikes, but I just have them around just in case I need them. This is the top to my aluminum kitchen table that I use. I put it out almost every time. I just wanted to show you guys kind of how that folds down in there. These are the legs that go with that table. They fit in here really well. I keep 2 hiking poles in here as well. And then the last thing I have in here is my clean waste portable toilet. It's one that if it's really cold or acclimate weather, I can drag it inside the camper and use it, or I can use it without the catch bags and powder and just find myself a nice place with a good view and dig myself a hole and go traditional old school in here. So those are the items that I put in here when the tray's in use or when the camper's in use. I like it a lot. The drawer slides on it are fantastic. Go in really nice. Everything closes up really good. And it's been a fantastic drawer. So I would say, again, probably one of my favorite features about this. I'll show you in some B-roll. It does, because I wanted the drawer, it does bring up the height of the flatbed by 5 inches. So if you imagine if you didn't do a drawer, your bed height would be down here a little bit more. And if you want to have less space between the bottom of your overhang of your 4-wheel camper and the top of your cab, you might want to opt for not having this drawer. But I would say it's a fantastic extra space for all these bigger items that you don't want to necessarily carry inside your camper or inside your truck. So that obviously gives you a little bit extra room in your truck. But if you have a gigantic truck and it's not an issue, maybe consider not getting the drawer. All right, that's everything for the flatbed. Let's go talk about the camper. Okay, the last couple items I want to talk to you guys about are the up-top roof rack that I got, and the exit traction boards and the WeBoost. So far, all of them have been great. The up-top roof rack is really high quality. I have no issues with the powder coat on it. All the bolts and nuts and everything holding it together. I kind of did a check on them about 6 months in, and everything was in great shape, and just did a check on them a couple weeks ago, and everything is in great shape. The exit track boards, I have not used them yet, but so far they've been great. Dramatically less expensive than the exit track. So if you're looking at boards, they're actually a really good board. They're really high quality, and I just found them to be pretty good. The only problem I had with them, and you'll see in some B-roll footage here, is the little clips that go up there that kind of lock them in place. Those will come loose a little bit, so I've had to zip tie them down to make sure they don't twist open and then rattle up. Luckily, one of them came off and the boards kind of flipped up in the air because a lot of air is coming up off the front of the roof rack there, and luckily the little clip thing landed on the roof and couldn't slide out from underneath the rack, so I didn't lose it there. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the WeBoost antenna. It's been fantastic so far. and I've had some good success with it. Again, it doesn't take you from 0 bars to 5 bars, but if you have 1 bar, maybe 2 bars, it'll definitely get you 3, and if you have 3 bars, you'll definitely get 4 and sometimes 5. So it's been a good investment, and when I've been out and needing a hot spot or being able just to get online to where I can either check into Gaia or check some emails or just check some weather conditions, it's been great having that as an addition. All right, back to you guys in the studio. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is the camper itself. I've had it for about a year, and this video kind of just focusing on external stuff. I'll do a second video where I talk about some of the internal stuff that I've have in the cab of the truck and then on the inside of the camper. But for right now, exterior wise, I haven't had any issues with the 4-wheel camper. I mean, it's built really well. All the hinges, all the doors, all the vents, all the lights and everything have been working really well. Really have really enjoyed it. I think the only thing that I wish there was an actual hack for, and maybe there is, if somebody knows of a hack, leave it in the comments for me. But when you do have the door open and hooked up on the hook here to keep the door from blowing closed, but if you want to, let's say, close that door at 2 in the morning, you literally have to get out of the camper, come all the way down, come around to the inside, and then hit this little bad boy right here. So I'm trying to see if there's a hack where I could possibly drill a small hole through the door and put some kind of something around this so I can actually do a pull on something that would allow that to get out of the way, and then somehow flip this out of the way. But again, total first world problems. It's not a really big deal. All that stuff's been great. Like I said, the down lights work fantastic. If you're camping with other people, or if you're camping and you go out at night, if you put your down lights on, it just puts out enough light so you can see what's going on. I've really enjoyed the LED lights. If you're considering or not considering getting them, I think they're a pretty good addition. You can price them against some of the other companies that, you know, have the extending pole lights that you can do or the whatnot. But I normally put my table and I cook kind of right off the end of the camper right there, and that back light there shines down when I'm cooking, and it adds perfect light. I did put another set of lights on the back that just for in the middle of the night, you know, if something goes bump in the night or some animals, you can kind of flip those on, and or not necessarily when you're backing up, because obviously you'd have to get into the camper and turn those lights on. But one little hack that I found for those lights are, if I'm sitting over here underneath the awning or kind of out front where I like to do my fire pit, kind of off the front tire of my truck, I will turn on those back lights and let all the bugs and everything dance around back there, and that really reduces the amount of bugs that are around me when I'm enjoying my fire pit. So anything else, I really haven't had any issues with it. It's worked out really well. I would like to try to find a solution for the cotter pens on the stairs. I know there was a company there for a while that was making a bar that went across here that you could just sort of hook your stairs on and just gravity held it into place, but I don't know that they're making those anymore. So if anybody knows of a company or knows of a kind of a quicker way of getting the stairs on, it's really the only thing that I fumble with is getting the pins lined up and getting them through there and getting them locked on. Again, it adds maybe 45 seconds to my setup, so it's really not the biggest problem in the world, but it's just something that if there is an upgrade or something I like to mess around with, that's something I'm always looking to do there. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. In the next couple weeks, I'm going to do a full rundown of the interior of the truck and the interior of the camper and go through those as well. Again, if you want to see some more info on the Bowen flatbed and the things that I keep in it, there is another video that I made of that. So check out that. If you guys have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments. I get back to everybody as quickly as I can. If you like this video, like it. If you're interested in hawk campers or just interested in the videos that I'm making, please hit subscribe so that way you'll get notified, and it'll also come into your from your subscriptions feed on your list of videos. So appreciate it. You guys get out there and have some fun, and we'll talk to you soon.